Hey YouTube, this is Terrence Barker and we got another dope video.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
It ain't easy growing up poor. It ain't easy growing up without, and having lacked of. And one of the main reasons why it is hard growing up poor is not the reason that we think. I mean, it's bad enough, true enough, that you are growing up with a lack of sometimes food or clothes on your back. But one of the hardest things growing up poor that is never really talked about is the social. Why? Because when you're young and you growing up poor, man, people don't care. A lot of people, especially back in like my day, a lot of people might sit here and say that kids are angels and that kids could do no wrong. But me, I got some news to tell you and I got to go out on a limb. Sometimes they could be the spawn of Satan. I'm just letting you know. And if you ever been up into high school, middle school, or whatever, then you already know that sometimes they can be a little bit rough. Especially with the bullying and talking about it when you talking about your shoes, your clothes, your outfit. And you be like, man, I ain't got nothing. It ain't like that. I sit here and come out with my own bills. It ain't like I got a job right now. People who's paying this thing is my parents. So you not only is you talking about me, but you say my parents is bums. So that's how kind of kids is. You know what I mean? They could be real mean sometimes. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that they ain't getting nothing probably from their parents, because I do believe that a lot of that does come from it. But I am going to sit here and tell you some hardcore facts that growing up poor is very hard because of the social. However, at the same time, once you eliminate the social aspect around there, one of the things I did learn is that kids really don't need much. Kids don't need much. They really don't. And that's something that we got to think on as parents when it comes down to it, because my daughter is out having a good time and she's got TVs. She's got a karaoke machine. She's got a dollhouse with all the bells and whistles and LOL stuff. She's got video games, 138 of them. And she's got these dolls and stuffed animals, bats, and all these other things you could think of. And we just out here having fun up in her room with the Trinity's Happy Stomach restaurant playing what we call the food truck game, because she gave me a good food plate with a cardboard box. And that's something that we have to ask as parents. You know what I'm saying? Are we trying to get all this stuff for the child? Or are we trying to get this stuff because we're trying to heal our inner child? We're trying to live through our child. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here saying that stuff is wrong to get. But I'm asking a much deeper question. I'm asking because it sometimes is important to analyze this. Are we getting this because we're trying to fulfill a void that we had in our own childhood? Now, don't get it wrong. Like most of the times we do get it because our kid is up in the store and they say, I want this, I want that, and I want some of these stuff and all this other stuff. So we kind of get it because this is what our child wants and we're trying to make him happy, or we get it because, we just don't want to hear it at that time. But I'm asking for the rare times. Are we getting it to fill the void? Because when you look in the video, she doesn't really need much. She's having a time of her life with one of her number one friends in the world, Daddy. So where am I getting at? Me and my daughter was out just playing with this cardboard box that you've seen in this video. And, she's having fun. She's loving it. And the main reason is because she ain't got other folks around her in her ear. I mean, she's got all these wonderful things and stuff like that. And what she just really wants to do is just have a good time with daddy. So she ain't got to deal with that social pressure, and also at the same time, I don't need to be going out here living my life through my kids. Sure, as a father, as a parent, and I'm not sitting here saying it's wrong, you want to give your child everything that you had and probably more. Sometimes you want to even give them what you didn't have, depending on how you grew up, which is good. But you also have to pay attention to the deeper question. Are you getting what your child needs, or are you getting what your inner child needs? Because let's be real, does a 2-year-old really need a pair of Jordans? They're going to grow them out in like 6 months. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people ain't thinking about that. Does these kids need these iPhones? Does these kids need all this technology? They don't really need all that. What they do need, though, is your time. What they do need is your love. Yeah, they need the basics: food, water, shelter, warm place to stay in the winter, and a cool place in the summer, man. They need a good, fine education. They need those things. But they don't need, to heal the inner child in us necessarily. That's your job. And, you got to be careful on how you're doing that, because I see it sometimes, with parents going out there playing sports, and you got the father living through the child or the mother living through the child, and why don't you just live, your life, and then just let your child live, because children don't need much. And one of the things I want to bring to the table is this saying is intimacy means into me you see. Are you seeing your child and just seeing your child, or are you seeing your child and yourself within that child and trying to heal the child within you? All right, YouTube, that's it for this video. Peace.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.